Hi, it's me again, and I don't talk about him a lot on this channel, even though we moved in the same YouTube circles for a while a few years ago, didn't we? Me and Alex Belfield, both bashing the BBC, weren't we? Man went a little bit further than I'm prepared to go to do the job, but good for him nonetheless. But he's stumbled across this because apparently he's, well, look at the headline, look. YouTuber plans appeal against stalking jail sentence. So, not exactly breaking news, right? We all knew he was going to appeal the sentence, but the interesting bit in here is that he was actually under-sentenced, which I thought was interesting. So could his appeal backfire and he could get his sentence lengthened? Is that a thing that can happen? I have to talk to the black belt barrister about that. Well, no, let's have a look. The former radio presenter was jailed for 5.5 years after being convicted in September. His planned appeal has now been mentioned in court by the trial judge at a hearing which related to an error made when Belfield was sentenced. Mr. Justice Sarni had sentenced Belfield to 2.5 years for stalking one of the complainants, Bernie Keith. He did so after the prosecution told him the maximum sentence for this offence was 5 years, but a maximum sentence is actually 10 years. Well, it speaks wonders for our justice system if the prosecution told the judge the maximum sentence. Shouldn't the judge know the maximum sentence himself? Do they rely on the prosecution for that? What if it had been the other way around and the prosecution had said the maximum sentence is life and Judge Sarni had given him life and it turns out it was actually 2.5 years or something? That's a pretty big mistake for the court system to have made, right? But also, it worked in his favour for a bit there because he could have or would have got a much longer sentence, which does seem excessive for what he did. I have to accept that. I accept what he did. I believe that the court found him guilty for doing it because he did it. But yeah, it's excessive. It's excessive, isn't it? And then the maximum sentence being 10 years for that? Yeah, I know. It's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? I know you get your tariff halved, don't you, if it's a non-violent crime. Is that still a thing? I need to speak to the black belt barrister, you know. I have emailed him. And we've been backwards and forwards about it. I might actually have to talk to him about something one day. But from my understanding is if it's a non-violent crime, don't you get your tariff halved? And then you can serve another half of that on licence, can't you? So even if it was 10 years, half that to 5 and 2.5. So even, yeah, I don't know. It's tricky, innit? But if he appeals, could they then impose what the true maximum sentence could have been? Could it really backfire on him? It's interesting. The Crown makes no submission that the overall sentence was, given the new knowledge of the legal position, inappropriate or unduly lenient, said Mr. Justice Sarni at Leicester Crown Court. Bearing in mind the need for an overall proportionate sentence and the principle of totality, I am not satisfied that my final overall sentence of 5 years and 26 weeks would have been substantially higher had I been made aware of the correct legal position on count 5. Well, at least Justice Sarni cleans it up a bit there, but he would have to say that, wouldn't he? Because mistakes were made. So he's got to clean it up a bit, wouldn't he? So I will be interested to see what happens with the appeal. I mean, I didn't really watch a lot of Alex Belfield when he was on YouTube full time. I must say I dipped in and out. I did watch the odd one. But his court reports after the thing I did watch because I wanted to know, like you are, I wanted to know what was going on. And I was surprised at the length of the sentence. I have to admit that. But it looks like mistakes were made. So would that help him in his appeal? I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens with this appeal, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on this channel, won't we? But let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because that way, hopefully, I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.